Well, the friendly confines of Wrigley Field come to life on game day. Such is the case tonight. Another perfect night for Cubs baseball here on Comcast Sportsnet as the Cubs welcome in their longtime rivals, the St. Louis Cardinals, who lead the division. It's the first of a 4-game weekend series. Great to have you with us along with Jim DeShays. I'm Len Casper. The Cubs have won 4 of their last 5. More on them in the second. But the Cardinals come in, best record in baseball, and it's been a team effort this year. We know about all the superstars, but they've got some other guys really making a name. Yeah, they just have a lot of talented line drive hitters up and down the lineup. You know all about Molina, the Gold Gloves, the All-Star appearances. Carlos Beltran, perhaps a Hall of Famer, who knows? But Alan Craig, the last couple of years, has really taken a step to the head of the class. And young Matt Carpenter, he's an all-star this year. Look at the numbers, the batting average, the RBIs, the home runs. 2 of the more premier line drive hitters in the National League. And they come in having won 5 in a row, so they're surging. We mentioned the Cubs have won 4 of 5. They did get blown out last night, but they still have been in a very good stretch overall. Yeah, hopefully last night just a little bit of a speed bump, but Jeff Samar just struggled, gave up a bunch of home runs. Club got beat 13-2, but you see in the previous 4 games, the pitching was really good. The bats, fueled by Alfonso Soriano, really coming along nicely. Nice contrast in styles tonight on the mound. Jake Westbrook tries to get as many ground balls as he can. Yeah, and Edwin Jackson last time out was a ground ball pitcher himself. Wind blowing in, should be a good night for the pitchers. We'll have game 1 coming up next.
Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. BMO Harris Bank, helping money make sense. BMO Harris Bank, NA member FDIC. AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
What a gorgeous night. The last couple of nights have just been perfect. Weather should be good the rest of the weekend. That'll take us into the All-Star break, and then the Cubs will hit the road out in the National League West next weekend. We also want to welcome those men and women serving around the country, watching on the Armed Forces Network tonight. Great to have Master Chief Hospital Corpsman Yvette Pryor here at the ballpark tonight. She has been awarded 2 Defense Meritorious Service Medals, 2 Navy Commendation Medals, 4 Navy Achievement Medals. Lots of blue skies above. Wind blowing in a little bit as the Cubs take the field. And right-hander and former St. Louis Cardinal Edwin Jackson. And let's check out the Cardinals Southwest starting lineup. Jackson will face, leading the National League in runs and also hitting with runners in scoring position, .338. Carpenter, Beltran, both all-stars. Matt Holliday hits third. Alan Craig, an all-star for the first time. Yadier Molina leading the league in hitting. David Freese is at third. John Jay in center. Pete Kozma's the shortstop, and Jake Westbrook, the pitcher, will bat ninth.
Cubs defensively have Soriano in left. Brian Bogusevic back in the lineup with the tender hammy. He's ready to go. Nate Scherholtz is in right field tonight. Infield of Valbuena, Castro, Barney, and Rizzo. Valentin Castillo behind the plate for our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher. That would be Edwin Jackson. He's made 17 starts. He's won 5 times, lost 10, .550 ERA. He's won his last 2. You see the numbers, the league hitting .281 against him. Lefties .272, right-handed hitters .289. 1-4 in his career against the Cardinals. He was a loser to St. Louis earlier this year. A game, as a matter of fact, started by Jake Westbrook. That was back on June 19th. Cardinals won that game 4-1.
Chicago native Dan Bellino will get home plate tonight. Mike DeMuro's at first. Crew chief Wally Bell at second. And Alfonso Marquez is over at third.
Hey, check out those glasses. Where do I get some of those?
Functional and fashionable. Is that a toupee?
That is a rocking some kind of a Cardinal hat, I'm guessing. You might want to hang on to that with 2 hands.
A rare 4-game weekend series here at Wrigley Field, in which 3 of the 4 games will be played under the lights. The only matinee will be tomorrow at 3:05. So here is the all-star Matt Carpenter to start it off. Cardinals offense has been excellent. They lead the majors with a plus 127 run differential. And again, leading the National League in runs and leading the world with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, it's crazy how good they've been with runners in scoring position. There's no way they can sustain that. Well, we'll see.
We had been saying that for about 2 months, and they have sustained it to this point. So we are underway. A strike on a fastball on the outside corner to Carpenter. Cardinals just swept the Astros in a 2-game interleague set. Carpenter hit the game-winning homer last night, in fact.
Yeah, the Cardinals got healthy. They won 5 out of 5 on a homestand against the Marlins and the Astros. There's his home run last night. Proved to be a game winner, turning on an inside fastball.
It was in the 7th inning. Well, their 5-4 win.
Interesting story, Carpenter. Born in Galveston, grew up in the Houston area, played at TCU. 13th round draft pick, signed for a $1,000 signing bonus. Hit about .220 in A-ball, and just continued to develop and learn and make adjustments. Now he's an all-star.
A ground ball to Darwin Barney. That's the first out.
That's what Edwin Jackson did time and time again last time out against the Pirates. He got a bunch of ground ball outs. There's that run differential Len talked about. Cardinals, the top baseball, 127 more scored than they have given up. Balanced team, good rotation. Ben's been solid, and a dynamic lineup.
Milestone night for Carlos Beltran. This is his 2,000th major league game. Swing and a miss. An all-star for the 8th time. He'll be in the starting lineup along with his teammate Yadier Molina.
Edwin Jackson, primarily fastball slider. He just threw a curveball right there to Beltran, and that's something he's been working on a little bit recently. We'll see if he uses it a little bit more here tonight.
Edwin, known basically as a 2-pitch guy, the the fastball and the slider, but he does have other weapons. Go up and in, and Beltran pops it up. A backpedaling Starlin Castro in the outfield makes the grab. 2 outs. Rough ride for Jeff Samardzija in the first inning last night against the Angels. They got 5 runs off him in that opening inning, and it really set the tone. Jeff, after the game, just said, I was pretty bad.
Yeah, I think he was a little unfortunate early too.
Yeah.
He got beat by a couple good pitches early, and then later on in the game started to elevate.
Yeah, he said he's had nights with worse stuff, but he just didn't get away with anything.
Yeah, he did. You're right. He made a couple of mistakes there early.
So he'll get well over a week to prepare for the second half. 1 strike on Matt Holliday. It's interesting. Jeff was asked after the game, is the break coming at a good time after that performance? He said, well, after tonight, yes. Can go one of 2 ways. You either want to get right back out there, or in his case, I think he'd like to have the extra time to kind of look at his last couple of starts and make some adjustments. The 1-1 inside. They keep pounding the inside part of the plate against Holliday. In again.
Yeah, well, that's the downside to that inside strategy. You don't want to make a mistake out over the middle against Holliday, so you're trying to crowd him with that 2-seam fastball. The problem is if he's not in swing mode, unless you're just spot on, you're not going to get strikes in there. When you throw that fastball inside right on right, you're looking for swing. You're looking to jam a guy and get some weak contact.
And when you get down 3-1, you got to find some of the plate.
Right, that's the downside. It's always the key. Where's the safe place to go to get strikes early in the count? Holliday, big, strong guy who covers the outside part of the plate really well, so you can understand the philosophy of trying to crowd him with fastballs.
The 3-2 sinker was up a little bit, and that one fouled off.
Creative. It's today tote bag night.
It is. Tote bag as a hat night for that young fan.
Didn't even have to make a pledge.
On a couple of hops to Castro. Just got him to end the Cardinals' first. Tote bag night here at Wrigley Field. The Cubs are coming up when we come back. 5-1. They have out-homered their opponents at Wrigley 62-41 on the year. Valbuena starts at Castro, Rizzo, Soriano, Scherholtz in the middle. Good to see Brian Bogusevic back in the starting lineup for the first time in a week. Barney will hit 7th, Castillo 8th, and Jackson 9th.
Who's where for the Cardinals? Holiday, Jay, Beltran cover the outfield. Freeze, Cosma, Carpenter, Craig third to first. Gold Glover, Yadier Molina behind the plate for our Lexus starting pitcher for the Cardinals, Jake Westbrook. Ground ball machine. 5-3, 278. He's made 11 starts. Missed a little more than a month with a tender elbow.
Before he got hurt, he had a 162. ERA is 4.34 since returning. Valbuena fouls it off. And he was leading the league in ERA when he went to the DL.
Third start this year against the Cubs. Last time we saw him, he was outstanding. That was a game I talked about where he and Edwin hooked up. 2 hits and 7 innings of work.
On the ground to Carpenter at second. Again, when Westbrook is on his game, you're going to hear that a lot.
Yeah, he doesn't strike people out. 68 innings, he struck out 27 while walking 26. Normally you would say that ratio, that's not going to get it done. He's allowed just 3 home runs. All those ground ball outs. Got a good solid defense behind him. The Cardinals have made 40 errors as a team. That's tied with the Diamondbacks for the fewest in the NL.
Ball 1 on Starlin Castro. Freeze really guards the line down at third. And it's 2-0. Westbrook works fast. And that ball is lined out into right center for the first hit of the ball game. He likes it.
Pretty swing by Starlin. It's a lot of hits in that direction, right center.
Brings up Anthony Rizzo. 1 on, 1 out. Westbrook from the first base side of the rubber, and Rizzo bounces foul. Westbrook's from Georgia. His dad played 2 sports in college at the University of Georgia, baseball and basketball. And Jake grew up studying Greg Maddux, and why not? One and one.
Rizzo, is 4 out of 8 against Westbrook. Left-handed hitter's hitting .348 against him. I think he's, because of the sinker, it's going to go down and away. You've got to pick your spots if you're going to try to yank something off a guy like Westbrook as a left-handed hitter. You've got to be thinking line drive the other way. Rizzo's good when he stays quick and just willing to shoot the ball alley to alley.
There's another ball out toward right center, and this one's going to roll to the wall. It should score Castro. Here he comes around third. On his way to the plate, Rizzo's going to hold with a double, and it's 1-0 Cubs in the first.
Two very good swings of the bat here early. First Castro, now Rizzo. The Cubs draw first blood. The sinker stayed on the plate. He was able to get out in front of it and yank it into the alley.
See Castro with those long strides. Rizzo with his 26th double. He's in the top 5 among National League hitters in that category. In fact, now with 26, he's one behind the league leader. That's Matt Carpenter with 27. One strike on Soriano. A rare 0 for last night. He's been so hot here lately.
Westbrook, when he's on, will throw that sinker a high percentage of the time. He also has a slider. He'll cut his fastball. Now he's throwing a split finger pitch. I don't know if he'll throw it to right-handed hitters. He definitely used it to the lefties. Well, there it was right there. Clearly didn't want to make a mistake with that one. He spiked it well out in front of home plate. Pretty good run. 8 bombs in 12 games.
Four doubles as well. Still trying to figure out Westbrook, however. He's 3 for 33 against the sinker baller in his career. Make it 3 for 34 as he strikes out. 2 down.
He doubled up with that split finger pitch. Well, if you're going to face Jake Westbrook, you prefer to do it outside of St. Louis. He's 3-0 with a 0.31 ERA in his home ballpark. On the road, somewhat pedestrian. 2-3, 4.62.
Nate Scherholtz, the right fielder. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Nate now hitting .336 lifetime in this ballpark. Includes a lot of time with the Giants. And now as a home player here in this ballpark.
Yeah, his name has been mentioned in trade rumors, speculation that he may be moved. I suspect he'd like to stay here in Chicago where he's hit so well.
Two balls and a strike. Westbrook's strikeout rate's about
Bless you. That guy sneezed.
half of what the major league average is. So he really does rely on his teammates to make plays behind him. Three and one with Bogusevic on deck. Here it is, and he walked him. Matheny in his second year at the helm of the Cardinals. Big shoes to fill, replacing Tony La Russa. Now Bogusevic. Notice Brian used to take his pant bottoms up right below the knees. Maybe he felt that caused the hammy tightness. Swings at the first pitch and grounds out to first. It goes 3-1. The Cubs grab the lead on the Rizzo double, plating Castro, and it's 1-0 Chicago.
before we move to the second. You can't beat summer here in Chicago, especially at beautiful Wrigley Field. So gather your friends and family, make baseball part of your plans. The Cubs' first home series after the All-Star break begins Monday, July 29th. The Brewers are in town. To purchase tickets, how about Cubs.com? Hey, you know who's here tonight?
Who's that?
You know, Fun. See?
Playing
That's
air
the band
drums?
Fun. They can't stop rocking.
We are young. I think they won the Grammy for that song.
They got a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Carry on. Carry on.
Some nights. Great to have him here at the ballpark as Alan Craig, the first-time All-Star, takes ball one. Second in the league in RBIs, third in batting average.
Hitting in the middle of this order, plenty of opportunities. But he's earned it, man. He's been really good with runners in scoring position. Just about everybody on their club has been.
Edwin has won his last two starts, most recently against the Pirates on Saturday. Into the sixth inning, 5 2/3, gave up one run. Good news on the rehab front. Scott Baker went through a side session today here at Wrigley. He's going to head out and pitch for Kane County on Sunday. So we may see him in the Cubs rotation in a few weeks. All continues to go well. Still coming back from Tommy John surgery. That setback in spring training. Cubs also made a roster move today. Brooks Raley, we thought after a long outing last night, 4 1/3, that Cubs might replace him tonight, and they have. Michael Bowden is back from Iowa, the right-hander. On the ground, it's Castro. Is Edwin Jackson now Edwin Westbrook?
Yeah, it's
getting a lot of ground balls. As you
and I looked at the numbers, because it was so stark last time out. He is among the league leaders in ground ball percentage now.
Now the guy, I would say, if the season ended today, he'd be the MVP in the National League. Yadier Molina, leading the league in hitting. Has been dealing with some right knee inflammation, and because of that, and Mike Matheny wants to make sure he gets periodic rest, they have 3 catchers on their roster now. Rob Johnson, brought up earlier this week. The backup to the backup. Tony Cruz is the other catcher. Nice play by Jackson to get his former battery mate.
Former battery mate who came into this game with outstanding numbers against him, sharply hit. The designs are going back through the middle, but Edwin Jackson there to snare it. 2 quick outs here in the second. 4 of the 5 outs on the ground. 4 ground balls and a meek little pop-up to Castro so far, as Jackson setting a nice tone early.
Here's David Freese. You see the season numbers, but it's been a bit of a roller coaster for him. He got off to a really slow start. Hit 163 in April. Has been right around 300 since then, although a slow start to July. At 299 in May, 319 in June. Has not done a whole lot here this month. We're only a third of the way through July.
Three home runs in June, 5 for the year for Freese, so the power number's not there for him.
But he drills that one out toward the 368 sign. And the Cardinals have their first hit. It's a 2-out double.
Yeah, a little bit of a trend developing when Edwin tries to go away to right-handed hitters with his fastball. He's having a hard time getting that pitch out there. It's leaked back towards the middle of the plate up until that swing of the bat. He hadn't been hurt by it. Freeze jumping pretty good right there. You may start to see him cut his fastball or throw more sliders to the right-handers, try to get the ball away if that fastball continues to leak back over the plate on him.
John Jay, his numbers down from last year. Slugged at least 400 his first 3 years. It's 336 going into play tonight.
Cardinals kind of defy conventional modern thinking, right? Sabermetrics and deep analysis. They talk about home runs, walks, speed. Cardinals really don't do a whole lot of any of that. They don't steal bases. They don't hit a lot of home runs. They don't draw a lot of walks. They just hit a lot of line drives.
Barney will throw out John Jay. So the Cards are 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position. I see a big shift. It's turning.
Regression to the mean. ComEd, the official kids club of the Chicago Cubs, is back in 2013. Earn your pinstripes as a member of the Cubs Kids Club and receive kid-specific perks, experiences, and merchandise. Visit Cubs.com/kids. Check that, Cubs.com/kids club to sign up today and be part of the fun all season long. Well, you read that wrong. It's /kids. That's not good.
No. Get it right.
Hey, Molly McIntyre's in the house. I'd like to have a piece of that American Girl store down there on Michigan Avenue.
Barney bounces nice pick on the short hop by David Freese.
Freese has committed just 3 errors this year. Cosmo over there at short has only made 4. Pretty solid on the left side of the infield. Tricky little hop. Gobbles it up. Crow hop. Strong over the top throw.
That's Wellington Castillo, the catcher. takes a strike.
Location and movement the key for Westbrook. He's not going to throw it by you very often. Average fastball, about 89 miles an hour. A couple clicks below major league average. See it low, let it go. See it high, let it fly.
Bounced back to the pitcher. 2 outs. Send us your comments on tonight's game through Twitter using hashtag Cubs Talk. We will read one back later in the game. We call it our AT&T tweet. We read pretty much all of them, but we'll read one on the air a little later.
So I see where Freddie Freeman has won the final vote in the National League for the All-Star.
Yes, and Steve Delabar in the American League. Did you vote?
No, but I'm not a fan of all the shilling for votes that was going on.
There was a lot of it.
Yeah. Vote for me and I'll, you can be in a contest to win autograph something. Yeah. I don't know.
Jackson, high chopper to Freeze, and Westbrook with a quick 1-2-3, 3 ground ball out, second. 1-0 Cubs after 2. How do the St. Louis Cardinals do it? Let's go down to Jen Latta with more.
Good evening, guys. Well, before the Cardinals rattled off 5 straight victories, they posted a 12-15 record that one publication called a spiral. That prompted one Cubs member to say, God, I'd love to spiral. All jokes aside, the Cardinals have been a strong team in the NL Central, so I asked Dale Swaim what they do year in and year out that keeps them atop this division.
Whatever they pick they have in the draft, or they've done a great job scouting over the years, and it's always obviously continued over the years too. And it all starts obviously with the starting pitching that they've always had. Whether they've traded for it or the young guys or got it, and then obviously Molina behind the plate is a huge asset to have.
Now, you guys mentioned Molina getting some rest as the season continues, but this team stacked from top to bottom, so if the Cubs want to make a run, they will have to go through the St. Louis Cardinals unless they do an uncharacteristic swoon towards the end of the year. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, Jen. Yeah, they had a rough stretch. They lost 8 of 11, but they followed that up by winning 5 in a row. And you look at the standings, and they have the best record in baseball right now, 55-34. And 5 All-Stars, most of any team in the National League. There's their shortstop, Pete Kozma. Recently sat out a few games during some offensive struggles, but he still leads the majors with 57 hits from the 8th spot in the order. The other thing is they're not completely healthy. They've had lots of injuries on their pitching staff. Jaime Garcia, Chris Carpenter, who may be back at some point in the second half, Jason Mott. And there's their general manager, John Mozeliak, who has done a fantastic job over the years. He had pretty big shoes to fill, didn't he, when Walt Jocketty left?
Sure did.
Swing and a miss on the slider, strike 3. First strikeout for Jackson.
A lot coming out of the scouting department of the Cardinals. Instrumental in all these young players that they brought to the big leagues, helping to sign them, and then the development people took over. Power slider here by Jackson. Kozma's struggles at the plate continue. He's been in a pretty good funk for a while now.
0 for his last 20 now.
To have an endless supply of young pitching. They've run a bunch of it to the big leagues up and down already this year. Shelby Miller, who was so good early on, has scuffled recently.
It's Lynn. He's given up some runs here lately as well. The Chris Carpenter one is a real intriguing one to watch.
He's like that Jason guy in those Friday the 13th movies. You just can't put him away. He just keeps coming back.
Thought his career might be over, but it's not right now. Going to be on a rehab assignment starting on Monday. That's the macro. The micro is a couple of guys in their bullpen have been very, very busy here lately, including their closer, Edward Mujica, who's worked in 6 straight games over 7 days. So I cannot imagine he is available tonight. If they get in a save situation, 3-2 on the pitcher. Sometimes in a day like this, they'll tell the closer, don't even go out to the bullpen.
Don't put your spikes on. Put your tennies on. Hang out and watch a ball game.
Westbrook pops it up. It's Castro for out number 2.
Yeah, they don't walk people. Keep it in the yard. And Molina behind the plate, they're tough to run on. So all those things add up to a ERA 3.35, third best in baseball.
Strike to Carpenter.
Big reasons why Alan Craig has 71 RBIs. The likes of Carpenter on base so frequently, plenty of opportunities. Carpenter with an on base percentage nearing 400. He's also hit 9 home runs. Jackson really mixing in a bunch of curveballs here tonight.
He also seems to be working with a quicker pace than normal. It certainly helps he hasn't had to work from the stretch much.
I like it. I like the idea of the curveball, you know, something a little bit softer than that power combination of fastball slider. He's had success pitching that way in the past, but extra wrinkle, a little softer breaking ball, especially to the left-handed hitters. Give them a little different look.
Two on Carpenter. Cubs leading 1-0.
Back foot slider. Back door.
That sinker into the ground and works his second 1-2-3 inning. He's allowed one hit through 3, and the Cubs lead 1-0. Club is the perfect gift to showcase what it means to be a Cub for life. Get a customized photo announcing the birth on the Wrigley Field marquee, a Cubs birth certificate, Cubs baby stocking cap, and a Cubs Rookie of the Year onesie, perfect for parents and friends alike. Visit Cubs.com for more info and to sign up today. I still owe you a birthday gift. Trying to find a double XL onesie. Having a little trouble.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Here's the 1-0 inside, 2-0 to Luis Valbuena.
Get well, Dorothy.
Yeah, we miss Dorothy. She's been on the 15-day DL. Hopefully back soon. Took a little something off that two-seamer for a strike, 3-1. There's ball 4, and that's a leadoff walk.
Now becomes decision time for Dale Swain with all the ground balls that Westbrook gets. Does he play a little hit and run? He's tough to run on. He's quick to the plate, and again with Molina behind the plate, the straight steal is not much of an option. Molina's thrown out 45%, and you got to believe most of the guys that try him are the really speedy guys in the league.
Molina looking into the first base dugout before giving the sign. And the pitch in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ever heard of Danny Salazar?
Danny Salazar.
Right-hander for the Cleveland Indians.
No.
Well, he made his major league debut today, and he got the win 4-2. Over the Blue Jays. Started the year in Double-A ball. 23 years old, a hard thrower. John Jay got a nice break on it, but he literally boots it. And Valbuena will hold at second. That's a base hit for Castro. He's 2 for 2.
Jay very dependable out there in center field. I think he was in position to make a play on this ball and just could not snare it. Did that get his glove first? Sinking line drive. Good job by Castro staying through that ball. No, don't stop.
So 2 on with nobody out. Rizzo last time, when the runner at first doubled in Castro, and he takes a strike.
They're not holding Castro on at first base. They want to defend the field on the right side with Rizzo up there, the left-handed hitter. Should be able to get a nice secondary lead here and hopefully upend any would-be double play. This ball really sharply hit.
Westbrook has not thrown a ton of strikes so far tonight. Here's a 2-1. That got by everybody. A wild pitch puts him at second and third, and a 3-1 count on Rizzo. Now the corner men will move in. They're back up the middle. That's the first wild one of the year for Jake Westbrook. Swing and a miss, 3-2.
3-0.
Split.
Yeah, either the split or a changeup. He's got a base open. He's not likely to give in. This is just a changeup.
On the ground into left. The Cubs will get a couple. Valbuena and Castro both score. Rizzo's knocked in all 3 here in the first 3 innings.
Ball well off the plate. Again, it looked like a changeup. He turned over, just floating out the outside part of the plate. Rizzo does the only thing he can do. Punches it through the hole on the left side, and 2 come home. How far he went out of the zone to get that one.
Pop up by Soriano behind the plate. Molina makes a catch. It's a first out. Sherholtz takes a sinker in there. Matt Moore improved to 13-3. As the Rays finished off a 4-game sweep, they beat the Twins 4-3.
They've won 8 in a row. Hottest team in baseball.
Moore was added to the All-Star team today as well.
Took Yu Darvish's spot, I assume.
Not sure.
I know Yu went on the DL with a back issue. Well, here's your hit and run opportunity if you're thinking about it. 2-1. They're not likely to pitch out.
Sherholtz pops it up. It'll be Cosma, the shortstop.
Enrollment bonus. How about up to a $400 airline ticket with U.S. Bank Flex Perks Travel Rewards Visa Signature Card. Applied today at any U.S. Bank branch.
Yes, Moore officially replaced Darvish.
So he won't be a hurling Darvish in the All-Star game.
No.
He's a hurting Darvish. Back.
He heard you. So Derek Jeter made his season debut today, but he had to leave in the 8th inning. Quad tightness.
We got a knock. He got a knock in his first at bat.
Quad tightened in his 3rd at bat. So they will perform an MRI. Yankees beat the Royals 8-4. That win for the Rays, their 8th in a row. Bogusevic grounds to Carpenter, and the inning comes to an end. What a start for Anthony Rizzo tonight. 2 hits, 3 RBIs, and the Cubs lead 3-0. Ranch Doritos Locos Tacos from Taco Bell. Live Moss. And tonight's Menards Grounds Crew winner, Bobby Wong from Crown Point, Indiana. A great night. 72 degrees as we got started this evening. So Edwin Jackson now working with a 3-0 advantage as he faces Beltran, Holiday, and Craig. No easy task. On the outside for a strike.
Beltran's such a good player over the years because of his combination of power and speed. Great defender in center field until his legs betrayed him a little bit as he got older. But enough power to play corner outfield position and not really hurt you in that regard. Switch hitter, good from both sides of the plate.
Gets a hold of one out into right center, but it'll be caught by Sherholtz. He and Bogusevic almost had a nasty collision.
All's well that ends well. Bogusevic and Sherholtz in hot pursuit of that drive off the bat of Beltran. Yeah, that could have been real ugly. Ooh, and we just did get it.
Holiday airs it out and missed it. Josh Fegley hit a grand slam today, and Chris Sale finally got some run support as the White Sox beat the Tigers 6-3. Sale had lost 6 times over his last 7 starts with an ERA of 3.10.
Young Josh Fegley off to a nice start in his big league career. 3 home runs already.
Hit a homer on the first pitch he saw at home the other night at U.S. Cellular Field against the Cubs. Castro fires and Holiday's hurt. Holiday pulls up before he gets to first. Looks like a hammy.
Yeah, right there, about halfway down the line. And grabbing pretty good, too. I suspect we won't see him the rest of the weekend.
Soon we'll see Shane Robinson replace him on defense in the bottom of this inning. 2 outs and a strike called on Craig.
That's where this guy becomes even more valuable. Alan Craig can play the outfield. Matt Adams can play first base.
Yep.
They do that from time to time.
They could do that tonight. Yep, so that's probably what will happen. And Craig drills one into left to keep the inning alive.
Craig does. We talked about in the open. He and Carpenter, Craig in particular, line drive machines. There's that fastball talked about earlier when he tries to go away to the right-handed hitter. He is, it's a 2-seamer. He's trying to backdoor, I guess, to that outside corner. Just runs back over the plate. just the second base runner for the Cardinals tonight. Very efficient evening so far for Edwin Jackson.
A good command, too. No walks. I guess the irony early on, Jake Westbrook has the wild pitch tonight. He had none coming in to the game, and Jackson had a major league leading 11.
And the man in the batter's box right there, he saves Cardinals pitchers a lot of wild pitches. He blocks just about everything.
Pulled to left, almost right at Soriano. So hit hard, but for the third out. Rough inning for the Cardinals. They lose their number 3 hitter, Matt Holliday, due to an injury. And it's 3-0 Cubs. Game time 6:15. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Harry Carey replica statue, compliments of Liberty Mutual. For more information, it's Cubs.com. So Craig does move from first to left, and Adams comes in to play first with Holliday out. There's a ball that gets past David Freese, and Darwin Barney has a leadoff single.
He's up on the balls of his feet, ready to react. Quick enough to get that one.
Normally a bunting spot this low in the order, but the pitcher's on deck, so Castillo will try to do some damage here. Breaking ball, strike.
It's so important to throw strike one in that situation because that really limits what the other club can do. You're always fearful of a pitch out if you put a hit and run play on. Obviously less likely to pitch out 0-1 than 1-0.
Now it's 0-2. Quick note, there are a couple of big Cub fans who live in Nottingham, England. And I got to meet him yesterday. I got a nice note from Alex Pink. He and his girlfriend Kat were here at Wrigley Field last night. They watch Cubs baseball all the time. And they're on a baseball trip.
Native Brits.
Yeah, went to Minneapolis, then to St. Louis. here, up to Milwaukee, then back to Minneapolis.
Did you ask him about the state of baseball in England? Is
I
anybody
did not.
playing baseball over there?
I did not ask them that, but I did ask Alex how he got into baseball. He just, something about the sport drew him in. He loves the atmosphere around the game and was thrilled to be here at Wrigley. Full count, 3-2.
Barney should be on the move here.
He is not. Ball 4. Now it's a bunting situation for Jackson. That was after an 0-2 start.
Chance to make a little noise at the bottom of the order, and the guys at the top, 2 and 3 in particular, Castro and Rizzo, really having a nice night. So big chance here. First things first, Jackson has to get the sacrifice bunt down.
Our AT&T UVerse Multiview. Cubs already leading by 3, threatening to get some more here.
Ideally, you'd like to get this ball out towards third base, force Freeze to come in and play it. The other consideration is to make sure you don't make it easy for Molina to come flying out from behind home plate and pounce on one and start a double play.
Caught the corner. It's a little tougher now. 1-2.
Terrific pitch, maybe a little bit low. I'd keep the bunt on a double play here to clean up this inning.
Bunted foul. That'll go as a strikeout. Only the second for Westbrook tonight.
If you turn him loose there and let him swing, you risk the double play. With the lineup about to turn over, like keeping the sack on, didn't get the job done, but still have a couple of chances here with just one out in the inning. Make something happen. Bueno, like Edwin, thinks that Dan Bellino's giving Westbrook a little too much at the bottom of the zone. I know this much. You don't want to swing at that one.
And that's a double play ball written all over it. Here's the 0-1. Fouled. I guess with 2 strikes, you have to swing at it.
Well, unless you're one of those guys. Some guys are really adept at getting that low ball in the air.
What a night.
Oh, my. Just a big bowl of butter pecan right here. And it would be perfect.
Popped in a shallow left. Cosma's going to call off Craig. And that's the second out. Well, Well, am I selfish in saying we deserve this weather? We had a rough couple of months to begin the year. A lot of rain, a lot of very bitterly cold days.
Oh, this is perfect here. Perfect summertime weather.
Yes, if the weather were like today, every day in Chicago, everybody on the planet would live here. That's why we have bad weather sometimes in the winter. To keep the posers away.
Mm-hmm.
Backhand pick on that short hop by Molina. 1-1. Cubs insider Patrick Mooney coming up in the 5th. Fouled away. Sounds like news on the ballpark restoration front. Scott Baker rehab update as well.
What a boost that would be. That's a chance to watch him pitch a little bit. Cubs with the decision to make whether to offer him a contract for next year.
If all goes well, they're going to get a better part of a couple of months to watch him audition. Cubs put the first 2 on. The next 2 made outs, and it's 2-2 on Castro, who asks for time. Starlin already 2 for 2 with 2 runs. Bouncer to third. It's just foul.
Pedro Alvarez is going to replace Carlos Gonzalez in the home run derby, in case you were interested.
Probably won't watch, but check out the highlights.
You might want to wager.
This one popped into shallow right field, and it's going to be Beltran to end the inning. Cubs lead 3-0 as we go to the 5th. wide is on your side. The Cubs have won 4 of their last 5, leading the first place Cardinals 3-0 tonight. We don't know how serious the Matt Holliday injury is, but by the looks of it, I don't know if he'll be back this weekend.
Yeah, I think the one thing we've learned about the Cardinals, though, is that they have that kind of assembly line of players. Dale was talking about it earlier today when they send out a guy who's throwing 97 miles an hour and then they bring another guy up. So obviously, the Cardinals have a ton of depth, best team in baseball, but obviously that's a huge loss for the middle of their lineup.
David Freese will lead things off. So, Patrick, it's a developing story, but we're seeing news about getting a little closer to the ballpark renovation deal being done. It has been a long and arduous process, to say the least, but getting closer to that finish line.
Yeah, I guess there's still a couple more going, but it's funny thinking back in the Cubs convention when they unveiled some of those renderings and stuff like that. And I know these players and Dale, the whole staff, would love to see that new clubhouse and the player facilities in for next season. So it might take kind of a Hail Mary to get it done, but I guess maybe there's still some hope left.
1 strike on Freese. Getting over the hurdle of getting the video board done, that is a big step in the process. So let's talk baseball. Scott Baker threw off the mound today here, and Dale sounded pretty optimistic that we might see Baker back in a few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Baker was excited just to get out of that 110-degree heat and kind of the Groundhog Day existence in Mesa. But he's someone who, he didn't throw a pitch last year and hasn't thrown a pitch for the Cubs yet, but both sides are thinking they could get another deal done next year just because they really like his makeup, his track record with the Minnesota Twins, and looking at this rotation, he could be a nice piece for them next year.
Good solid winner when he's healthy. He really is.
That's the other thing about if the Cubs trade Matt Garza. Last year at the end of the year, you had some pitchers without much of a proven track record at this level. But whatever happens to that rotation, barring a bunch of injuries, the Cubs should be in pretty good shape here in the final few months.
Yeah, they've really made a lot of. That's basically been their #1 priority since Jed and Theo took over. And you look at Villanueva. If Arrieta gets straightened out in Iowa. And Scott Baker was on some really good teams in Minnesota that went to the playoffs. They took the White Sox to that game 163. And, I don't think it'll be like last year when, new guys were showing up in the clubhouse and we didn't really know, okay, this is the new starting pitcher now. I think they're going to have, a lot more continuity now.
3-2 on Freese. Jackson's been very sharp tonight, looking for his 3rd straight win, and he strikes out Freese. That's the first out. Only a 2nd strikeout, but getting a lot of ground ball outs in this one. So we might see Chris Bryant here real soon. Probably tomorrow.
Yeah, word is he's in town. I think the physical, I think it should be done, at this point, and he gets $6.7 million, the most in the draft this year, and the Cubs get a guy that they think, could be their 3rd baseman, middle of the order hitter for, years to come. So,
I'll put you on the spot here. When is Chris Bryant a big leaguer?
That's a good question. 2016.
Okay.
Jay bounces to Barney. Well, I know the Cubs didn't move their Midwest League Low A affiliate to Kane County for the fans to see the players. They did it because it's closer to the front office and people can go rehab there and things like that. In fact, Scott Baker will end up there. But it is nice to know that maybe this year, early next year, fans in the area will be able to watch Chris Bryant in action. Albert Almora.
Yeah, we saw him here the other night, and I think that's the flip side too, not just the major league side going down there, but whether it's a guy like Almora can come out here.
Sure.
And he was talking to Jesus and a couple other guys here the other day during BP, and that's probably pretty invaluable experience, you can probably explain it better, but just to see what this market is like and kind of the passion here.
Be around the guys and get a feel for what it's like, absolutely.
Cosmo with 2 outs in the 0-1. I know Kane County draws well. Good atmosphere there.
I think anytime a young player can be exposed to big league scene, the big league players, that get a little bit more comfortable each time you do it, so there isn't that deer in the headlights. Oh my goodness, third deck syndrome, and it can be a little daunting for a young player. So come up, hang out a little bit, work out in the off season, couple big league camps, just to be around a little bit.
One other note, Patrick, before we let you go, I did chat with Travis Wood, and I know Dale talked about it. Sounds like Wood's going to be available and ready to pitch in the All-Star game, and it's going to be up to Bruce Bochy whether or not he uses him. Castro will make the play.
Yeah, we'll see Sunday night. It seems like there's been a different answer every couple of days, but I hope for him he gets a shot.
I think even if Travis pitches 10 innings Sunday night, he's still going to tell the NL All-Star manager, I'm available. 3-0 Cubs. Edwin Jackson dealing tonight, giving up just 2 hits through 5, and it's been the Anthony Rizzo show. 2 hits, 3 RBIs.
Rizzo with an RBI double in the first and punched a single in the third to drive in 2. Soft line drive to left field on a ball well out of the strike zone. Get a little greedy here on 2-0. See if Westbrook challenges him.
It was a sinker, but it was well out of the zone.
Didn't have to be. Dan Bellino's been consistent, though, calling that pitch down around the bottom of the knees all night long.
Ball 4. Rizzo on yet again. For Xfinity high-speed action, Rizzo starting in the first inning with an RBI double. Only Only a single this time, but it played it 2. Oh, 0-1 to Soriano.
His struggles against Westbrook continue. Would you say 3 out of 33 coming in?
Coming in, yeah.
Reach out and a pop up to the catcher. So far tonight.
More than due. Right hamstring tightness. That's why Matt Holliday had to leave. Suffered that injury running down the first base line in his second at bat. Double play ball. The flip. The turn. And it goes 6-4-3.
Qdoba Mexican Grill wants to spread their 3-cheese queso love to the Chicagoland area. Opt into Qdoba's mobile club by texting Q to 50500 to receive free chips and queso.
Lights now taking full effect. As Sherholtz pops up behind the second base position, and it's Carpenter to end the inning. Cubs waste a leadoff walk, but still have a 3-0 lead as we head to the 6th.
Central presented by GMC. Highlights and reaction from bench clearing between the Sox and the Tigers, plus clubhouse reaction from our game here tonight. Join Mark Shanowski and Pat Boyle. Catch all that and more on Sportsnet Central tonight after postgame live only on Comcast Sportsnet.
And come cheer on the Cubs as they take on the division rival Cardinals tomorrow, July 12th, here at Wrigley. We'll start up at 3:05, but get here early. The first 10,000 adults 21 and older get a Cubs cowboy hat presented by Budweiser. More info or to purchase tickets, go to Cubs.com. Speaking of, I want to give a shout out to the Cubs.com message board posters. I like to chat with them on occasion. Yeah, the hardest of the diehards. Live and die with every pitch. Westbrook trailing 3-0 and leading off the Cardinals' 6th. Stretch tonight, the Chicago Fire. Mike McGee, forward and Chicago native, will chat with us. He'll be joined by a couple of his teammates tonight. Jeff Laurentowicz and Gonzalo Cigares.
How's your soccer IQ? Follow it a little bit?
Not a ton. I like it, but no, I don't follow it a lot. Do you?
No, but I'm with you. I enjoy it when I do watch it. I used to like going to watch the high school games.
I know that Mike McGee played with David Beckham. Called strike 3. He was with the LA Galaxy, so we'll have to ask him about that. Would it be too cliche if I asked Mike, can he bend it like Beckham?
It would be, but feel free though.
Carpenter's grounded out twice.
You made an interesting point when you're talking about the Cubs.com message boards and the fans that live and die with it every day. We were talking before the game about that today. There are certain segments of the fandom that rise and fall much more significantly than do the players. The players are kind of trained to, the old cliche, don't get too high, too low, games of peaks and valleys. You talk to a lot of fans, a lot of people just, every single day, it's mood altering.
But yeah, it's really difficult to perform on a day-to-day basis if you ride those highs and lows.
Now, I've played with those guys, and they don't last. The guys that take the bat home at night and take about 1,000 swings in their hotel room. You have to learn how to handle failure at this level, or you're not going to survive. That's kind of what Castro's going through this year. Tough to do it for the first time at the big league level. Most guys go through it a little bit, at least, down in the minor leagues.
Golfed in the air, and Bogusevic a little bit of a late break, but plenty of time to camp under it. Nice location there from Jackson.
Two outs, nobody on. Beltran's looking for a pitch he can drive. He's thinking extra bases. Two very good pitches to start the at-bat. Clips the outside corner with strike one. This appeared to be a little bit of a cutter at 93 miles an hour. Down around the knees. .95 with sink.
Beltran has always put up big numbers in this ballpark. 37 career games, 11 homers, a .348 batting average. And now for our Coors Light freeze cam. Last time up, he had a line drive out toward right center, and Ryan Bogusevic and Nate Scherholtz caught up in each other's airspace. Fortunately, no damage done. Stays alive, still 1-2.
Talking with Dave McKay on the road trip about plays in the outfield, collision plays and potential collision plays, and he said, you know, I don't buy that argument about the crowd noise affecting players when they're going for the ball. He said, if you want that ball, you can yell loud enough. He used the term scare off the other guy. Somebody needs to take charge and just start screaming.
Beltran strikes out. Inning over. 6 innings, 4 of them have been 1-2-3s for Edwin Jackson. On top of his game tonight, the Cubs will bat in the 6th, leading 3-0. Stats and tweets with Cubs in-game live only at csnchicago.com. Brought to you by Comcast Business Class. One 1-0 on Bogusevic. 2 ground outs. This time he lines one over Kozma for a base hit. Cubs keep getting the leadoff man on. They've done it in the last 4 innings.
This time Westbrook tries to jam Bogusevic with a cut fastball, and he stays through the ball. First time, a couple times up, rolling over on the ball, hitting it on the ground on the right side. That time he kept the hands inside the ball. Solid knock. Bogusevic continues his good work since being called up from AAA. The way Edwin Jackson is pitching, the Cubs might have enough. But you're always looking for more. Cardinals still have 3 cracks at it. They play Barney as an off-field hitter. Carlos Beltran We're shading towards the right field line.
Ernie could not hold up. Hey, congrats to David Ortiz. Last night, passed Harold Baines for the all-time hit lead among designated hitters, nearing 1,700 hits as a DH.
Poppy, an all-star again this year. He's hurt to start the season, but he still put up big numbers.
Fly ball well hit. Deep left, but it's going to stay in. Caught by Craig on the warning track. Wind blowing in. And knock that one down.
All of the outfield tonight surprises everybody. There haven't been many of them. Good swing by Barney. Another night, maybe that gets out or goes to the wall. How old's Big Poppy? About 50?
He's younger than you think. He is 37. He'll be 38 in November.
The Twins would want a do-over on that one.
Yep. He's non-tendered. They get one, they get two. That's the inning. That'll take us into the seventh. It's the Cubs 3, the Cardinals nothing. Most unique behind-the-scenes VIP Cubs game experiences available. Join Cubs destinations at Wrigley Field August 2nd through the 4th when the Dodgers visit the friendly confines. These packages include great tickets, first-class hotel accommodations, special Cubs gift bag, a VIP tour, and a private meet and greet with a current Cub. For more info, visit Cubs.com. Matheny just had a really long chat with a couple of the umpires, not sure why. And I guess if it's our business, they'll tell us.
Yeah, I Didn't see anything that happened down on the field that would have created any kind of an issue. Clearly, Mike Matheny had a point to make.
Starting on Sunday, relive an unforgettable time in Chicago sports. The Chicago Blackhawks, a championship journey. It's presented by your Chevy dealers. Tune in as CSN replays every Blackhawks victory from the playoffs and every game of the Stanley Cup final. Watch the journey that brought Lord Stanley back to Chicago starting Sunday at 1:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Matt Adams with his first at bat came in to play first base after Matt Holliday was replaced in left by Craig in the fourth.
Very good numbers for Adams in part-time play. It's one of the challenges for Mike Matheny, get this kid more at bats. He's dangerous.
High deep drive center field. Bogusevic leaps and makes a catch. Just had enough room. Edwin Jackson likes it. Matt Adams not so much.
Like Barney, maybe on another night, well struck by Adams, but well tracked by Bogusevic. A peek at the wall. Up he goes. One quick out for Edwin Jackson, who's got to be feeling it tonight. He's been spot on all night long and now gives up some solid contact. And that too turns into an out.
A very loud first out. Here's Craig. I do not think the wind is a huge deterrent tonight, but it's certainly not helping in these deep fly balls.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
Bogusevic back again. This one over his head. And Craig will stand with a double. He's 2 out of 3. You know, I know there are people at home who say, how do you catch the first one, not the second one? The center fielders will tell you that is the toughest ball. It's so hard to gauge.
Yeah, you don't have that angle. Ball hit directly over your head. You don't have that angle. And Bogusevic did what a lot of center fielders do, that he froze. Instead of breaking in, he just held his ground to try to read it. And by the time he was able to start heading backwards, he was not able to catch up. Much easier read on that ball that's hit to the left or the right. Solid contact here from the first 2 hitters. And that got Dale Swaim's attention, so he's got action now down in the Cubs bullpen. James Russell is up.
Pedro Strop has joined him. As good as Jackson has been tonight, we know how this Cardinal offense can strike quickly, and they've squared up a couple of balls here to start this 7th.
Molina got the big blow off Jackson back in June when he pitched in St. Louis, hit a 2-run home run in the 6th inning. It was a tight, well-pitched game. It was a key blow.
Ended up being the game winner.
And a fastball that was down and in off the plate. On that night, Jake Westbrook pitched for the Cardinals. He went 7 innings of 2-hit ball. Tonight it's been Jackson who's carried the day.
Only the second at bat for the Cardinals with a runner in scoring position. Valbuena will charge and get Molina with Craig now at third. First Cardinal to get that far. It's Freeze with 2 outs. Cardinals just 3 for 23 tonight against Jackson.
85 pitches thrown by Edwin, working with 2 outs in the 7th on a nice cool night. Really going to be able to limit the number of outs that bullpen has to get, if any, the way he's going.
He'll go from the wind with a runner at third, and Freeze swings and misses at a slider at 87.
Last couple of innings, that slider's been devastating. Cardinals with an unheard of .338 batting average with runners in scoring position. That's a good pitch. And with nobody on, they're hitting 240 something.
That doesn't make sense.
So that's going to come up, and this batting average with men on base is going to come down. It has to. It's irrational to think otherwise.
One and two.
A good slider. This one shows in the zone early and then drops on top of home plate at 87 miles an hour.
Notice before that pitch, Jackson shook his head no before Castillo even gave a sign. Catchers will tell their pitchers to shake off a lot, just to try to get that hitter to think. What's he shaking to?
Shot at that outside corner with a fastball. Whoa. Wow. Acted like he was crossed up by that pitch.
Jay is on deck. If Freeze gets on, he would represent the tying run, and it could be it for Jackson. So big pitch for Edwin here as he tries to get out of this 7th. The 3-2 swing and a miss to end the inning. Stretch time with the Chicago Fire.
Conductors for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Members of the Chicago Fire.
All right, Cubs fans, are you out there? Well, let me hear ya. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back for its root for the Cubs. Shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get some runs.
Davis slow-mo replay. This will be the final pitch of Edwin Jackson's night, and the slider, appropriate pitch on his best night as a Cub, I'd have to say. 7 shutout innings.
For the first
No
time
walks.
this year, yeah, he did not walk a man, and what a way for Edwin Jackson to finish his first half. It's been a bumpy ride for him, but much better lately, and outstanding tonight.
Dave Chappelle pinch hitting for him, flies to Beltran. And 1 away. Yeah, first start for Jackson without a walk. Does it against one of the best offenses in baseball. So do some quick math here. 18 2/3. 4 earned runs over his final 3 starts of the first half. Take that. It's about an ERA of 2.
Yeah, and 2 runs allowed in his last 3 home starts. Remember, he came into this year as a visiting pitcher with very bad numbers in this park. Had struggled here much of this first half, but his last 3, 2 against the Pirates, in which he allowed just 1 run and 12 2/3 combined, and now this one tonight, 7 shutout. Looks like he's got his mojo here at Wrigley.
Line foul the other way by Valbuena. Well, you love getting the starter through 7 on a night like this, because now you can really piece together the 8th however you'd like to if you're Dale Swain, knowing you've got Kevin Gregg in the ninth. A full bullpen to try to get 6 outs.
Strope has taken a seat, and Blake Parker has joined Russell.
Could use Russell against John Jay, and then he's got Parker after that, if he chooses.
Yeah, that's the problem of having just one lefty in the bullpen. You got to pick your spot. So Jay's leading off the inning, so you certainly could justify using Russell there. But you also might think, well, if I use him there and then bring in Parker, and then the Cardinals get a little something going, now I don't have him for Carpenter, and maybe to turn around Beltran, and then Adams, who's now in place of Holiday. So maybe you would rather have Russell in case things go awry for Parker if he starts the inning.
Adams unassisted, 2 outs.
Why managers get paid the big bucks to make those tough decisions.
Off the end of the bat, little blooper. And he's got 3 hits. Castro 3 out of 4.
And off the end of the bat this time, a little good fortune as it drops in front of Beltran. May have quit on this play a little bit early. Perfect night so far for Anthony. A couple of knocks, a walk, 3 driven in.
Final Comcast Sportsnet Cubs broadcast of the first half. Hard to believe we're more than halfway done this year.
Yeah, it's a long first half.
This is game 90.
But 93 games. When we take the break, we'll have less than 70 when we return. Kind of half I used to get from my big brother when we were sharing the pizza. That's not half. Kidding me?
This will be pitch 100. That will be a throw to first.
Matheny showing confidence in his veteran right-hander, letting him face Rizzo for the 4th time tonight. And a situational lefty, Randy chewed up, and he appears to be ready.
Kyle Kendrick beat All-Star Jordan Zimmerman 3-1 tonight in Philadelphia. Phillies over the Nationals. Phils have won 7 of 10. Even with a loss, Zimmerman's 12-4. The 1-2 high in the air. Beltran will take it. 7 in the books. The starters are going to be done. It's 3-0 Cubs.
Everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Cubs baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text At Bat to 31826 or visit Cubs.com for details. It is Blake Parker coming out of the Cubs bullpen. He's been out there 15 times, 0-1. 2.12 ERA. He struck out 25% of the men he's faced. That's really good. 16 punch-outs in 17 innings. 5, allowed 8 hits. Only one of which has left the ballpark. Bottom of the order up for the Cardinals. Parker on the bump and Russell at the ready. Fastball, slider, and a split finger pitch.
Talk so much about ground ball pitchers. fly ball pitchers. Same goes for hitters, and John Jay is a ground ball hitter. 70% is his ground ball percentage career.
And that's, this club, that's one of the things, one of the hallmark of this club this year. They hit the ball on the ground. They hit a lot of line drives. That's why the high average, but not a lot of home runs.
Could not hold on an off speed. 0-2.
They would have been really something back in the day on turf. Not that they're not really something this year. High cheddar.
Pitch. Like he hit a spot, didn't it? But Jay spoiled it. And he's going to stop with a single.
I think Wellington wanted it a little higher.
Let's see.
See, Wellington's up out of his crouch. He wants it up above the hands, looking for a swing and miss. That's the first time tonight the Cardinals have had a leadoff man reach base.
Strike called on a fastball.
Time where we probably would have seen Adams take this at bat had he not had to come into this game for Holiday, or maybe Descalzo here for Cosma and then Adams in the pitcher's spot.
Home run guy Matt Adams into the game at first and almost homered in the 7th. And Descalzo is on deck for Westbrook. Two ways to look at an inning like this. If you're the Cubs, you go in and go 7, 8, 9, so you're going to get 7, 8 pinch hitter. Ideally, not much traffic, you get through it, and then the closer faces the top of the order. If you're the Cardinals, you're thinking, well, if a couple of those guys get on, then we turn the order over and get our big guys up there with a chance to tie this game. 0-2 to Cosma.
Beautiful pitch.
One away.
This is one of those games where the adage really rings true. It's the player's game for the first 6 innings, and it's the manager's game from the 7th inning on. A lot of decisions to make. Tight game. Well pitched.
Here's Descalzo. I think Mike Matheny will be too upset with what Jake Westbrook did tonight. Quality start, 7 innings, 3 runs. But Edwin Jackson was better.
Also, and you see the numbers versus right versus left, so you can understand if Dale Swain went to Russell here with a left-handed hitter behind him, but they're trying to establish Parker as their 8th inning guy. Give him a chance to compete in the 8th against both right and left-handed hitters. Having said that, if Descalso reaches, I think Russell will be in the ballgame.
Backdoor breaker missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rattled the cage of Castillo. Checking on his jaw. His neck.
Catchers probably enjoy the All-Star break more than anybody else. The beating they take.
Big crowd, 35,379. Nobody's left. Cubs trying to beat the first place Cardinals. And the Pirates are rooting for the Cubs tonight. They are idle. The Reds lost 6-5 in Atlanta. Reds now 5.5 out. Hudson over Latos. Kimbrel with his 25th save for the Braves. Outside, 2-2.
Flying open a little bit. Front shoulder drifts towards first base a little early. Tendency to leave the ball up and away to a left-handed hitter. Glide down that hill and finish the delivery. Blake wants to throw a splitter. Wasn't what Wellington was thinking. Wellington called slider. Parker shook him off, asked for the fastball, shook him off. Parker threw the splitter, and Descalso didn't bite.
So a full count, 3-2. Jay at first. Cubs leading 3-0 in the 8th. Jay takes off, ball 4, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate. And we'll see if Dale wants James Russell with Matt Carpenter due up. And he does. Single strikeout walk to begin the inning. And it's the Honda call to the pen. 3-0 Cubs. Cards threaten here in the 8th. Post-game live presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. They'll break down the game, give you their outlook heading into the All-Star break. Cubs post-game live tonight after the game on Comcast Sportsnet.
Call to the pen brings in James Russell for the 44th time in a busy first half. 1-2 ERA of 2.94. Struggled a bit on the recent road trip. Last 3 times out, though, been solid. He has not pitched since Monday, the makeup game against the Sox. Carpenter hangs in well against left-handed pitching.
2 on, 1 away. Slider missed the outside corner.
He was the hero for the Cardinals yesterday. Big home run late against the Astros. Gotta love James Russell's approach. Doesn't matter whether he's going good, bad, or otherwise. Still remains the same guy on the hill. Very aggressive.
Russell steps off. Castillo wants to start over.
And Matt Carpenter hitting .333 against right-handers, .294 against lefties. He's hit 4 home runs against left-handed pitching. 4 of his 9. Actually has a higher slugging percentage against lefties than he does against righties.
Now step off as Castro snuck in behind Jay at second.
9 of his 15 career home runs have been against lefties. Jose Akenda, the third base coach, started running out of the field, trying to get his attention out there at second base as Castro snuck in behind him.
Two and one. Secret weapon.
Secret weapon. He's hearing it from the Cubs dugout. Where are you going, man?
Three and one with Beltran on deck. You mentioned this earlier this week with Soriano in his hot stretch, just how he takes pitches and Matt Carpenter definitely has that look right now of a comfortable hitter.
Seeing the ball well.
Yeah.
Nothing jumpy about him.
Line shot to Bogusevic. Carpenter did all he could. He hit it right on the button. And thankfully for the Cubs, he hit it right at their center fielder.
Great at bat by Carpenter, but it ends well for James Russell. That line drive to Bogusevic. And Dale Swaim's going to make another move.
So Russell gets Carpenter. And it will be Pedro Strop to face Carlos Beltran. When we return, the Honda call to the pen. Here's Pedro Strop facing Carlos Beltran. 2 on, 2 out, 8th inning. Third reliever. So Parker got an out, Russell got one, and Dale Swaim hoping Strop gets the final one here against Beltran.
Tough call with Beltran, so good from both sides of the plate.
That gets away. Runners will advance on a wild one.
I think if this were earlier in the year when Russell was on such a roll, Dale would have stayed with him, but he has had some struggles lately. Strop's arsenal somewhat similar to Edwin Jackson, that fastball slider combination. That one got a piece of Dan Bellino, and Beltran 0 for 3 tonight against Jackson, so maybe that was part of the thinking.
Hitters count, the pitch. 2-1. Whatever wind there was has just about died down completely. It was blowing in out of the northeast when we started at 6 miles an hour. Giddy up.
Turned it up a notch. Got Beltran to chase. A high cheddar for Pedro Strop.
Sets up a 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. And the Cardinals strand a couple in the scoring position. Their MO all year, knocking in runs in spots like this, but not here in the 8th. Biggest difference with Edwin Jackson lately? Well, I like no walks tonight, and I think you hit on it. Maybe getting some earlier outs with ground balls.
The ground ball is certainly a big part of it the last couple of starts. I think a certain amount of it is a fair bit of bad luck for him early on. People don't want to hear that. Put the batting average on balls in play early in the season, and a lot of those ground balls that have been turned into outs the last couple of starts were going for base hits in those ball games. But, and just in terms of pitch selection, flipping a few curveballs up there early tonight, too.
2-0 from the veteran lefty Choate to the veteran right-handed hitter Soriano, and he grounds to third. Now Scherholtz.
If Mike Matheny were protecting a lead, he would not have brought Choate in to face Soriano. Managers use their resources a little bit differently when they're trailing in a game as opposed to when they're protecting leads. So primarily a lefty specialist to get lefties out, so he let him face Soriano because he knew Scherholtz and Bogusevic were coming up next, and he didn't want to use two pitchers to get through the 8th in a game in which he is trailing. The classic loogie, left-handed one-out only guy. 31 appearances this year, but only 18 innings of work.
Swing and a miss, 0-2. There's a closer, Kevin Gregg, right now. If the Cubs don't score here in the 8th, he would find himself in a save situation in the 9th. It's Adams, Craig, and Molina, and Freeze if anybody reaches. Swing and a miss, he got him. 2 outs. Choate's Gets paid to get everybody out, but mostly lefties, as you mentioned. Tap foul by Bogusevic.
Yeah, and likewise with Dale Swayman, this situation, sending up Schierholtz and Bogusevic to take these at-bats off this drop-down left-hander. Clearly, if this were a tie game or if his team were down, he'd be pinch hitting here. But he's got the lead. He likes his defensive team on the field.
So slings it in there for a strike. 0-2. So the loogie did his job and more. He got 2 lefties out and also got a tough righty out. We'll go to the ninth, 3-0. Cardinals is Sunday evening, July 14th at 7:05. The first 5,000 children 13 and younger will receive a pair of Cubs shoelaces. For more info or to purchase tickets, it's Cubs.com.
Spend your Bastille Day at the ballpark.
Here's a closer, Kevin Gregg.
2-1, 15 saves. He suffered a second blown save last time he was out there. That was Sunday, the finale of the series with the Pirates. He gave up a solo home run to Starling Marte. 2 outs, 2 strikes. And Marte got him. Went on to win that ball game, 4-3. Matt Guerrero was the winner that day.
First at bat, Adams crushed one to the warning track in center. Nice leaping catch by Bogusevic. Inside edge to get Adams for the first out.
Carved him up. A couple away, and then that come on back two-seamer clips the inside corner. And that's a pitch in there. Take his eyes away with a couple of fastballs off the outside edge and clip the inside corner. Dan Bellino says to Matt Adams, go on back to the dugout. Check the video.
I don't think Mike's too thrilled right now. It's not the mild-mannered Mike Matheny
no,
we
sir.
know.
And I don't know if it's
I'm a little scared at the
I don't know
moment.
if it's the call or the way Bellino reacted to Adams' gripe.
0-2 to Craig. Inside on a waste pitch.
Looks out at Greg, trying to take inventory. Okay, what's he throw? What's he going to do with me? Now he's got me down in the count. Is he going to double up in there with that fastball? Nope.
Splitter. Craig held 2-2.
Good call. No swing.
Ground ball. Diving stop Rizzo. He's up with it. The throw dropped by Craig. The error will be charged to Kevin Gregg. Rizzo with a great diving stop.
Greg's got the bag. He just doesn't have the ball. He was there in time. The feed was a good one.
There's Molina. Tying run still on deck. And Rizzo will play behind the runner at first. That's not really concerned about Alan Craig. Fly to right. Scherholtz for out number 2. 2 down. It'll bring up David Freese as they stand here at Wrigley. Cubs haven't shut out the Cardinals since 2011. The pitcher for the Cardinals that day was Edwin Jackson. Trying to combine with 4 relievers on a whitewashing tonight. The Cardinals were shut out 3 times in April, but have not been blanked since. Two and 0.
You got to throw it in now. Down 3. Freese might be taking here.
Just didn't get it. 3-1.
Would have been better than the last one.
John Jay is on deck. And he will bat with 2 on and 2 down.
Kevin trying to work that outside corner to Freeze. He's not able to find it frequently enough. I think Dale would have been happy to see him be a little bit more aggressive there.
Here we go. Strike 1. Cardinals rallying here in the 9th without a hit. An error by Gregg with 1 out and a walk to Freeze with 2 outs. The kick, the pitch. Line drive. Soriano. Did he catch it? He did. And the Cubs win. Cubs win 3-0 the final. Mike Matheny out of the dugout.
He's not sure that ball was caught on the fly. I think he was looking for his base runners to get any indication. But this is all about Bellino and Matt Adams.
I think he just threw him out. And yes, you can get ejected even after the game ends.
Take a look at this final play. Line drive by John Jay. Soriano battling the lights a little bit. He got it.
Yep. So the Cubs keep the high scoring Cardinals off the board tonight in a 3-0 shutout. They held them to just 4 hits, a lot of hard hit outs late in the contest. And the Cubs have now won 5 of 6.
Yeah, pieced together at the end by the bullpen. Took 4 pitches to get the final 6 outs. Parker Russell Strope the 8th, and then Kevin Gregg works his way through the 9th. But Edwin Jackson, the man of the match tonight. An outstanding performance by Jackson.
And he is our GMC professional grade player of the game.
We'll be able to take this outing to the All-Star break and look forward to a solid second half. He's been good here lately and outstanding tonight. 7 innings of 3-hit shutout baseball. Walked not a man while striking out 5.
Cardinals went 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position, and the Cubs take game 1. So for JD and our entire CSN crew, Len Casper at Wrigley Field, your final, the Cubs 3, the Cardinals 0. We're back with you from Colorado after the All-Star break. 10 days from now. Cubs and Rockies from Coors Field. Up next, Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live.